this evening, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has warned foreign actors to limit their interference in the peace and security processes of the Democratic Republic of Congo to avoid making mistakes. Museveni's remarks came as he elaborated on the root causes of the prolonged conflict in the DRC, which he noted trace back to the 1960s and 70s when visionary leaders like Patrice Lumumba of the DRC and a former Burundian leader were assassinated against the will of the people. Museveni made these comments as he assumed the chairmanship of the Great Lakes countries under the Regional Oversight Mechanism, ROM, which is tasked with overseeing peace efforts in the DRC. The handover took place at State House in Entebbe.
President Museveni officially took over the chairmanship of the Regional Oversight Mechanism, which is mandated to foster lasting peace in the Democratic Republic of Congo from the Burundian President Evariste Ndayishimiye at State House in Entebbe. Museveni began his acceptance speech by highlighting the historical challenges that have fueled the continuous conflict in DRC. He pointed to tribalism and religious segregation dating back to the 1960s and 70s as the key contributor to the instability.
So that is this whole story. But it is solvable because here in Uganda we solved it. We had the same problems. Sectarianism of religion, sectarianism of tribes. But we exposed that misanalysis. Why is identity important? More important than interests? His Excellency referred to it in his speech. Why don't you look at trade and exchange of goods and services and building the economies for the whole area instead of tribes, religion?
Museveni also warned foreign powers to reduce their involvement and influence in the DRC peace and security process to avoid causing further complications.
And I thank His Excellency Ndayishimiye for shepherding this work in the last 2 years. So let's see what we are going to do in this phase, because we know what the problem is, and it can be solved. But we must have the political will, and the foreigners should limit their involvement, because the foreigners are the ones who carelessly embolden the mistake makers. Then the mistake makers think that we don't care about these internal groups, we don't care about the region. What is important is the external support. This is the problem I have seen here.
In his speech delivered in French, outgoing Rome chairperson and the president of Burundi expressed his disappointment over the turbulent nature, noting that it was marred by persistent conflicts.
A lot of problems. In fact, war became more devastating than before. The beginning of this year, 2025, was marked by a grave situation with the resurgency of war started by M23, supported by Rwanda, the conquering and occupation of Congolese territories in the east, and the occupation of the airport of Goma and Bukavu, and whereas blockade and destruction of infrastructure caused disastrous consequences. Massacres, mass violations of human rights, refugees, displaced people, impoverishment of populations, and jeopardizing economic activities, looting, etc. Situation which is changing from bad to worse for as long as the war continues. Regional and international efforts in support to the Congolese government for the establishment of peace.
He urged President Museveni to remain firm and focused. The meeting was also attended by the 4 official guarantors of the Regional Oversight Mechanism on Peace and Security in DRC. These include the African Union, AU, the United Nations, the UN, the International Conference of the Great Lakes Region, ICGLR, and the Southern African Development Community, SADC. All representatives pledged their continued support for the DRC peace process. Philip Aguta for UBC News at State House Entebbe.
Thank you, Philip Aguta. Now, the Office of the Prime Minister, through the Ministry of Bunyoro Affairs, has given out 150 heifers to women to fight poverty in the households. The Prime Minister of Uganda, Lauryn Masika, handed the cows to the 19 beneficiaries in Kakumiro district.
The government program of alleviating poverty among Ugandans includes giving out livestock as one of the priority enterprises of increasing incomes among households. The Office of the Prime Minister, through the Ministry of Bunyoro Affairs, have given out 150 dairy cows to the people of Bunyoro to alleviate poverty in the communities.
Kakumiro district has got 19 heifers, but the program is for entire sub-region of Bunyoro, and we are distributing 150 heifers to the entire region. We have already given Kiriandongo, we have already given Masindi municipality, Masindi district, and from here we are proceeding to Kagadi from the President of the Republic of Uganda.
The Prime Minister of Uganda, Lauryn Masika, handed over the heifers to the 19 beneficiaries in Kakumiro district.
Zirimu olujungu. Ebitundu 45. That now means you have to look after these animals with a lot of care. Size zine za bulijjo. Zoteekaawo oba enkwe ejiruma n'ejiruma. Oba eridde omuddo oba teridde ebyo byayo. These animals need a lot of care. Dairy cattle can make you have money, income every day. Kutunga akantu akakuleta esente buli kiro. Ati obwo bugagga tiniwo bagamba obwensibu. Museveni abeewo. Museveni abeewo. NRM abeewo. Ate Nabbanja.
Kusiima Right Honorable Nabbanja Robina habw'okututeekamu obwesige abakyala akatuheereza ente. Tukusiima n'ofiisi ya Yoweri Museveni Kaguta.
Siima gavumenti eyatuha enkuratanisa y'okutuha ente y'okutubiisaho famire yitu kandi mazima n'ente nungi munonga kandi nsiima President witu wa Uganda ahabwo kureeba abakazi ari kututamu ekitiinisa nitwe tukakurakurana.
However, the Prime Minister cautioned the beneficiaries to avoid any attempt of selling off the animals.
Tebagambe bagiguze miliyoni 2.6. Oba mujega ki okugitunda akakadde kamu. Ente zino mugenda kuzirindamu abakyala. Because now you hear the minister say, look after this animal, it delivers a baby or a calf. Then after that, you will give that, you will transfer that calf to another beneficiary. DVO. Some animals did not leave this place in 2022 when I brought cows here. We gave councillors of the district, we gave LCC chairpersons. Now they cannot transfer to another beneficiary. The animals are not there. All of them were reporting they died. So you are going to tell us they died, you will pay. Ojja kutuwa ente eyo. Ekufeeko ogituwe. Gomanyi by'onootunda. Because batulimba zaafa. But in actual sense, they sold the animals. This kind of impunity will keep us under poverty. So njagala okubasaba bw'oba owulidde ng'ente ogitwala kugitunda, totwala nte wano. We shall arrest you. Onatwala ente si yo weka ojja kuzaala tukuggyeko omwana tuwe omulala. I want to thank the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister guided us. He said in our region, let's now start giving out cows. And today we are here to give out cows. I have two appeals. The first appeal is to ask you to vote for President Museveni, who has enabled us to deliver. Owekitiibwa ekisuukulumu Robina Nabanja temutimbako na muntu mwaba mwabaki.
Now, the Ministry of Education and Sports is urging various stakeholders and implementing partners to reassess their interventions in order to effectively address the growing challenges of teenage pregnancies, early marriages and menstrual health management. This appeal was made during the commemoration of World Menstrual Hygiene Day, which emphasizes the global importance of proper menstrual hygiene practices. We have more.
Reports showing that 1 in 4 girls from age 12 to 18 drop out of school because of their period. A report shows that these numbers do not double.
Every woman deserves dignity, safety and quality care during her menstrual cycle. Uganda joined the rest of the world in observing World Menstrual Health Day under the theme Together for a Period-Friendly World, calling for a collective action to ensure that menstruation does not hinder access to education, healthcare or opportunity. Representing the First Lady and the Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, the State Minister for Sports, Peter Ogwang, reaffirmed the government's commitment to investing in initiatives aimed at keeping girls in school and eliminating the stigma associated with menstruation.
The Ministry of Education and Sports has integrated menstrual health and hygiene management into a school curriculum. We are progressively improving the wash infrastructure and working with partners to scale up access to menstrual materials and education in schools. At the heart of every child's journey is the family, and at the heart of every strong family is a positive parenting grounded in love.
Menstrual health and hygiene must be repositioned, not just as a health concern, but as a foundational right and an enabler for girls' education and dignity.
Speaking at the National Dialogue on Preventing Teenage Pregnancy, Advancing Menstrual Health and Hygiene, Promoting Positive Parenting in Uganda, several partners and implementers raised concerns about inadequate funding to address these interconnected challenges.
Development partners, today we reaffirm our commitment to work alongside Uganda to improve access to menstrual health products and services, ensuring availability and affordability of sanitary products, especially in rural and low-income areas, ensure schools, workplaces and public spaces have girl and disability-friendly wash facilities.
However, more must be done. No girl should ever be forced to trade sex for pets. Addressing this requires coordinated action across ministries, civil society, private sector, religious and cultural institutions.
During the event, national menstrual health guidelines were officially launched, with different partners and stakeholders signing on as a show of commitment. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
The Parliamentary Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authority and State Enterprises, COSASE, has summoned the Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Ruth Nankabira, together with the Ministry of Finance to explain the 500 billion debt from UETCL to UMEME. UETCL revealed to the committee how UMEME handed over to government without clearing its outstanding debts to the company. Take a look.
Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited has responded to the Auditor General's report for the financial year ended June 2024. The report shows how UETCL still grapples with debts and outstanding receivables close to 899 billion.
33 you had 665. Actually, it has gone on increasing. How are you running the entity?
While appearing before COSASE, chaired by Medad Lubega Segona, the committee noted how the company has an outstanding debt of 500 billion shillings from Umeme.
What was so difficult about telling Umeme get out of our facility? Because you see, it's a debt. What we owe them, they demand and they want. What they owe us, you can allow them to walk away with it. The initiative we did, through engagement with the government, Minister of Finance, we requested that for the agencies which owe Umeme money, that money is collected at source and may be remitted to UETCL rather than through Umeme. So we had also that engagement.
This raised concerns as MPs questioned why the company allowed government to compensate Umeme without proper balance of books.
To the PSST, copied in the Auditor General and the Minister of Energy, indicating that as they were reconciling to pay off the buyout amount, they should offset our money that was outstanding. But given the fact that Umeme was in a stronger position, that they could not hand over unless they were paid the buyout amount, I think the government was in a weaker position. They went ahead and paid them for Umeme to hand over. So that's how we were left in the cold.
The MPs also pinned the Minister of Finance on why it passed a supplementary paying up Umeme without paying up agencies that owe it.
The Minister of Finance was moving up and down with the supplementary. And they are saying there is a deadline. You either pay or you suffer the consequences. And Chair, this report was out already. And the Minister of Finance should be among the consumers of this report, Mr. Chairman.
Government agencies have failed to pay up for electricity, where UETCL demands 157 billion shillings of electricity to Ministry of Defence.
Account, they are saying we can only pay you if those MDs pay.
So there is
COSASE has summoned the Minister of Energy and Minister of Finance to explain mechanisms used in paying up Umeme without clearing companies that owed it.
With your ministers. Please come back with all the documents that we want.
Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gitaminji, Parliament.
The Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited has clarified on the prevalent electricity blackouts across the country. The company emphasized that the ongoing network revamping is the primary cause of the current power unreliability and has appealed to the public for patience as these critical upgrades are carried out. We have the details.
Thank you very much. It is
Due to the growing public outcry over unreliable electricity supply, the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited has come out to explain the causes of the persistent load shedding.
What are we doing in these plant shutdowns? We are dealing with refurbishments, we are dealing with replacing of poles, but also we are improving the network to ensure that the electricity that is coming to your home, to your factory, is to that expected quality as per the grid code.
The company attributes power instability to the ongoing comprehensive refurbishment of the national electricity distribution network, including the shutdown of some substations.
Of course, some of these refurbishments, upgrades and modifications of this infrastructure come with some bit of discomfort to electricity consumers. We want to apologize, but also to re-echo deeply that these upgrades are meant for our own good, to improve the robustness of the infrastructure, but also improve the quality of power that it meets the demand of the appetite that you have as consumers.
Following the government's takeover from the public utility company, which is the Umeme Limited, $74 million was allocated to UEDCL for restructuring activities over a one-year period. So far, the company has replaced 116 dilapidated transformers, with other technical work still ongoing.
116 faulty transformers we inherited on 1st of April. All of them have been replaced across the country. Different parts, to be honest. So we have no challenge so far of those faulted transformers that we referred to at the beginning of the year.
There have been also complaints regarding the layoff process of former women employees whom UEDCL had committed to consider for re-employment.
96% of all the staff in respect of the 2,712 employees as approved by our shareholders are all recruited, they are onboarded and deployed across the country. The remaining 4%, we are continuing to source out these skills, but then we will be sourcing these skills externally, outside the basket of UMEME and UEDCL in the coming days.
UEDCL is calling upon the public to collaborate in combating the vandalism of electricity infrastructure, one of the major challenges affecting reliable power distribution across the country. Abdul Nasir Luwama and Rogers Komagun for UBC.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You are now entered the draw to win school fees.
I got to learn about the Powerball through the website www.nationallottery.go.ug. Played Powerball tickets worth 5,000, used an option of quick pick, and that's how I was able to be the lucky one to win 35 million. I checked my tickets online and I found out that I had winning numbers. The feeling was incredible and full of excitement. I would advise everyone who is 18 and above that whatever you're seeing here exemplifies reality. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Uganda National Lottery for bringing us this opportunity to win millions.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort, and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Are you a woman with a small-scale business with a dream of growing it to another level? The GROW Project is here to support you in realizing your dream.
The GROW Project is a government initiative implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and Private Sector Foundation Uganda with support from the World Bank.
We support women-owned businesses across the country to gain hands-on and business management skills through training within your location, business financing through grants and affordable loans, and infrastructure in your areas of operation to enable you to increase your productivity.
If you have a business that makes sales of up to 800,000 Uganda shillings per month, the GROW Project has the tools and resources to help you succeed. For more information, contact your district or city GROW focal person or call our toll-free line on 0800 307 777 to learn more about how you can benefit from the GROW Project's services.
The GROW Project, empowering women economically, transforming communities.
Welcome back from the break, and we're glad you're still with us here at UBC News Tonight. Now, in more news this evening, Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyango has confirmed that the police, along with other law enforcement agencies, are fully prepared to provide security for pilgrims visiting the Anglican and Catholic shrines in Namongo. He issued a stern warning to those intending to commit crimes, incite violence and steal pilgrims' property not to dare. Onyango made these remarks at the Catholic Martyrs Shrine in Namongo following a coordination meeting with various law enforcement agencies.
Celebrated every 3rd of June. Police and sister security agencies are on high alert to ensure the safety of the hundreds of thousands of pilgrims expected at both the Anglican and Catholic Martyrs shrines. In collaboration with the military, Special Forces Command SFC, Joint Anti-Terrorism Task Force JAT and other agencies, the police have committed to intensifying security at the shrines. When UBC visited the Catholic Martyrs Shrine in Namongo, security personnel both in uniform and plain clothes were seen patrolling the area. Screening and thorough checkups were mandatory for everyone accessing the shrine, and all visitors were required to register in a designated book to guard against any possible threats. The security operatives held a closed-door briefing to strategize their operations. Later, Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyango briefed the media on the security arrangements made to safeguard the pilgrims.
There is maximum security, there is tight security, and this number will keep on also as the visitors come. The number also will continue to increase. The number of personnel, of security personnel, will also keep on increasing. The number you are seeing are still very few, according to us, but we keep on increasing every day until the day when the maximum will be there.
Onyango emphasized that security teams are ready to respond to any criminal activity.
Security for us, we are ready. We have been ready, and we are ready to see that this event ends successfully.
He further advised the pilgrims not to carry sharp or dangerous items to Namongo, as these could cause unnecessary disruptions.
You know, to come with the sharp objects inside here, because we shall not allow you to come with. Leave those sharp objects outside.
He also warned the pickpockets and robbers that any attempts to commit crimes would be met with immediate consequences.
You should also be vigilant. Be suspicious of any suspected abandoned object, suspected abandoned briefcase, suspected abandoned bag, suspected abandoned bucket, suspect anything that is suspicious to you. Please inform the nearest security personnel, because we are going to be here and we have dominated the area.
The dedication of the police, military and army personnel to their duties reflects their commitment to honoring St. Ponciano Ngondwe, the patron saint of security personnel. Amai Vanjoko and Mike Bakabulindi for UBC.
Pilgrims walking in at Namongo Martyrs Shrine have necessitated the startup of business from makeshift shops to pop-up stalls, weaving themselves into the spiritual and economic fabric of the sacred season. We have more in the details.
Whether it is for a lifestyle or a blessing, Namongo is alive with purpose. And for many entrepreneurs here, it is not just a pilgrimage. It is a lifeline.
Enka wane emirundi gyenkoleddewo mingi. Nzizeewo emirundi mingi ofuna kulwa abajulizi. Si abajulizi lwokka luno, naye ekyo kifo kyange kyakwegayirira. Sina kindi nti ne bizinensi eno yonna mu kwegayirira kwange when najijja.
Several businesses ranging from tentative stalls to tents offering food, drinks and other essentials have emerged as the faithful walk into the Namongo Martyrs Shrine.
We have the soda business, we have the water business and the energy business.
Tunda mandazi, sumbusa, mfumbe mmere, toke bobeze.
Tunda ma t-shirts gaba father gakola shirts. Ntunda bamama Maria abatabe nakulo sorry abaguloto tunda.
Both first-time and returning entrepreneurs describe the experience as a blessing amidst the spiritual energy of the pilgrimage.
This could be like our 5th time being here as a company. This happens once in a year, and we are a family here. We are part of this.
Tukirinze okuva e Kampala nasimbula Krasa King mu misa sawa emwe yokumacha nenzija nga nazokula magu kwange ngende okuleeta ebintu nga maze okuyingira essala.
This is not only a business opportunity but also a moment for many entrepreneurs to give back to their loyal
and faithful customers.
And we are here with affordable prices. Our prices are low because we know that most of our pilgrims here or most of our clients here come from the farthest ends of the country. They come from far, so we've given at affordable prices.
As the faithful prepare to walk the walk of faith, entrepreneurs are also walking one of a hustle, hope, and opportunity. Cayenne Faith, Namongo.
Thank you, Cayenne Faith. Now, the Greater Northern Region Anglican Cluster has cited that the 3rd June Martyrs' Day celebrations will cost them over 2.2 billion shillings, citing that although the government promised them some funds, its contribution has not yet been realized. Now, speaking in a press conference at the Martyrs Anglican site in Nachianja, Right Reverend Godfrey Olum, who chairs the preparations, says although adequate preparations have been done for the D-Day, a lot is still wanting. They have, however, assured the public of enough security that is intensified at the premises for better safety.
The Greater Northern Region Anglican Cluster, that comprises of 6 dioceses, including Northern Uganda, Kitgum, Lango, West Lango, Nebi, and Imadi West, is in charge of the 2025 Martyrs' Day celebrations. During a press at the Anglican site, the chairperson organizing committee, Right Reverend Godfrey Olum, says preparations are underway and they are moving on smoothly.
We are hoping that the foot pilgrims will arrive at St. Peter's Naguru on Friday 30th. And then on Saturday, they will have a time of rest, settling down to be able to make it here on the 1st.
However, Olum highlighted that while significant preparations have been made, a lot is still needed to foot the celebration's full budget.
As we speak now, we do not have all the finances that are required. However, we have got promises from government that the budget that we submitted to them and which they committed to fund will be availed as soon as possible. Every year, every cluster will do a signature project, and the signature project is the one that takes the bulk of the money that comes from government. We are putting up a security fence, a wall fence around here. We are also putting solar lights around this compound.
Ahead of the official celebrations, a series of activities are to be carried out, including daily prayers, Mother's Union Day, Youth Day, among others.
So things are going on behind us at the chapel. You heard there are prayers going on. There are people, intercessors on ground who will be praying with whoever would like to be prayed for. Last Saturday, we had the children's conference.
We noticed that over 900 pilgrims from the northern region are soon making it to the site.
For example, I had expected that from northern Uganda there could probably be only 300 pilgrims. But now we have 979 and increasing. So this is something that comes from somebody's heart. And
security operatives from various agencies are also in place at the site, ensuring safety of the pilgrims.
As you can see, the security here is okay. And we can guarantee that whoever comes here has every reason to feel secure. However, we would like to encourage everybody to be conscious about their own security and the security of their property.
Scenes of instilled preparations are still ongoing at the site, where believers are fetching the holy water. Speaking to some of the pilgrims, they shared their experience so far, being at the Martyrs' grounds.
We have a lot of benefits in our families and even in our places of work, and even the mothers who have been coming here have given positive testimonies about this place.
The 3rd June Martyrs' Day celebrations will be led by the retired Archbishop Henry Kolombi, and the main celebrant will be Archbishop Kazimba Mugalu, whereas President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be the chief guest. Rebecca Nantongo, Juma Samba, UBC News.
The Uganda Revenue Authority and the Kampala City Traders Association have reached an understanding aimed at resolving long-standing taxation issues they claim was affecting transactions. The two bodies reached a mutual agreement after a long meeting that ended at 10:30 p.m. last night at the URA headquarters in Nakawa Division. Now, in the meeting, the URA tax experts were led by the Commissioner General URA, John Rujoki Musinguzi, while the chairman of the Kampala City Traders Association, Dr. Thaddeus Musoke, led the delegation of traders. We have the details.
The Uganda Revenue Authority Commissioner General John Rujoki Musinguzi met with the Kasita representatives to address traders' grievances regarding perceived double taxation. Over the years, traders have reported cases of double taxation of container owners by URA tax collectors at border entry points and at the URA bonded warehouses at the headquarters. The taxman, John Rujoki Musinguzi, rebutted the leveled allegations against the tax body.
The Uganda Revenue Authority, after discovering this loophole to revenue, but also overcharging of taxpayers, which had led some of them to run out of business, we introduced a change which we communicated in our public notice on the 28th of April, stopping with immediate effect the clearance through groupage teams, one team to clear for the whole group.
Despite the rebutted, Musinguzi told the traders that the majority of them are involved in dubious undertakings of tax evasion, either knowingly or unknowingly. That often leads to accumulated tax penalties when the culprits fall victims. However, he was quick at appealing to many of them to settle their outstanding tax dues and pick their imported containers of goods at major border points across the country.
URA is not holding any container. We changed the procedure of clearance. Now we've just agreed with the leaders, even to simplify it further. We will not get away from the principle of insisting on individual house bills, but we've agreed that let this be enforced from 1st of June. When you have not yet declared those goods, please declare using individual house bills.
Whereas the Commissioner General's appeal was timely, they needed to formalize their commitment towards resolving issues of double taxation by unscrupulous URA tax officials was a matter of urgency at the meeting. The two bodies, URA and Kasita, had to sign a memorandum of understanding to which traders were granted a tax waiver until July. It also provided a temporary relief for both parties to work towards longer-term solutions.
The values and the traders, leaders of the traders brought to attention the fact that the notice was short, and as a result, implementing it immediately will have adverse effects. And on this one, we've agreed that the Commissioner Customs will make communication of the new values with effect to take effect from 1st July. In other words, the new values will be applicable from 1st July.
The agreement also includes plans to establish a special taxation desk at the Kasita Secretariat. This initiative aims to assist traders with the tax-related matters, including return filing and understanding tax obligations. The collaboration between URA and Kasita marks a proactive step towards enhancing tax compliance and fostering a conducive environment for traders in Uganda. I'm Ivan Joko and Mike Bakabulindi for UBC.
A report launched today by the National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders, Uganda, indicates that civic space continues to shrink. However, on a brighter note, there has been improvement in the prosecution of related cases. The report highlights public perspectives on the trends, patterns and prospects within Uganda's civic engagement landscape.
The methodology for compiling the Civic Space Index 2024 report by the National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders Uganda, supported by partners, drew on diverse data sources. The research team based its work on 13 areas of inquiry. These included the state of human rights and the rule of law, freedom of expression both online and offline, media rights and journalistic freedoms, access to information, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, on the safeguarding of human rights and the rule of law. Key findings from the Uganda Civic Space Index Report 2024 indicate that 83% of responses were negative, signaling a decline from previous year's performance. The survey further reveals that freedom of expression, particularly in media and digital spaces, is under serious threat.
For you to gauge civic space presence, the media must be free, relatively, fairly, to do their work. Why? Because ultimately they are the embodiment of free expression, they are the embodiment of information flow. And our findings reveal that there is a restriction. Even if information is supposed to be given and someone thinks, is not in the mood to give it, they are citing quickly the oath of secrecy.
The same report also notes that youth are becoming increasingly militant, driven by the perceived shrinking space for civic engagement.
There is this feel of, if there is need for a clash, let the clash be there. Okay? And that militancy is, without really being apolitical here, is seen in where, is seen in terminologies. People are saying commander, people are, calling themselves all sorts of names.
There is also a significant level of public distrust and fear regarding law enforcement agencies and their impact on civil liberties.
There were also sentiments of the now very clear established tripartite between police, the judiciary, and prisons. Arrest, charge, remand. In essence, the weaponization of the judiciary, that you will appear and before you say anything, the judiciary will say, you're remanded. Okay? In essence, it is acting more like, take this nuisance out for us legitimately.
When it comes to peaceful protests, the greatest concern is fear of losing lives, followed by the fear of arbitrary arrests, exposure to tear gas, and challenges in obtaining police permission.
The idea that the police still deliberately, consciously misinterprets notification of gathering for permission.
We know that freedoms or rights are not absolute, but there are also other rights that we know that are absolute, that you cannot violate or abuse under any circumstance, but we continue to see them being violated. For example, freedom from torture, the right to habeas corpus, the right to a fair trial, and freedom from slavery.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but return with more stories after these messages. Don't move an inch.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees.
Life in Uganda today comes with so many uncertainties.
Where will Madam get Kameza if I get an accident and can't work? If anything happens to me, what will Junior eat?
Kale Musa is still in the hospital. Guy is missing a lot of money here.
With a monthly payment of only 3,000 shillings off your Equity personal account for Equi-Life insurance, you will be entitled to 50,000 shillings hospital cash per night spent in a registered facility, up to 20 nights every year. And your family will receive 3 million shillings in case of your death. Visit your nearest Equity agent to sign up today or call 0312 327 000 for assistance.
Brought to you by
Right, now on to business. Uganda Hotel and Tourism Training Institute has secured a €260,000 grant from the Belgium Embassy through Enable to modernize its training systems and boost staff capacity. The funding aims to digitize administration and enable online learning for the institute's 1,000 students, including 500 informal studies and 450 apprentices.
The grant will transform Uganda Hotel and Tourism Training Institute's operations by introducing a digital system for administration and study, alongside comprehensive capacity-building programs for staff to enhance service delivery.
Because for us to become a center of excellency, has our strategic direction and vision, we must have staff that are able to meet the levels, or high standard levels, that will be able to transform us into a center of excellence.
Belgium and the EU's investment in Uganda's tourism sector currently totals to €2.2 million, supporting initiatives such as Fair Trade Tourism Certification, Skilling and Decent Work programs, business sustainability, and the establishment of a National Skills Council.
So tourism businesses in Uganda who qualify for these certificates demonstrate commitment to sustainable and ethical practices. For instance, fair wages and working conditions, community development, cultural preservation, and environmental conservation. And these practices align with the growing demand by travelers who are looking for responsible tourism experiences.
Tourism contributed 6.6% to Uganda's GDP in 2024 and accounted for 7.2% of national employment, supporting over 8,000 jobs. This grant aligns with the efforts to build sustainable tourism and youth employment through enhanced technical and vocational education.
When the institute is ready, when the hotel is finally occupied, it begins operating, and the source of the Nile launched, isn't it? Ginger will have a dramatic change, isn't it?
But also looking at work attitude, for example. What we see is graduates think they will be the manager from day one. None of us around the table was a manager from day one. And that's something that we all can help support youth in climbing up.
The partnership under Enable's WeWork project, co-funded by the Belgian government and the EU, supports Uganda's ambition to position the Uganda Hotel and Tourism Institute as a center of excellence in tourism and hospitality training in the region. Focus areas include curriculum development, entrepreneurship, gender mainstreaming, and stronger private sector collaboration to improve youth employment outcomes. Wadulo Arnold Mark, UBC News in Kampala.
Now more into the business scene. The Ugandan mission in Paris has launched an ambitious tour campaign, leveraging European media influencers and tour operators to attract over 2,000 tourists from Europe to Uganda each year. Ambassador Doreen Ruth Amule says this effort is part of Uganda's wider tourism diplomacy strategy, supporting the country's bold target of growing its economy to $500 billion in the next 15 years.
As Uganda charts a path towards $500 billion economy over the next 15 years, tourism is one vital pillar in this growth. Leading the charge in Europe, the Uganda Embassy in Paris recently concluded a high-impact 10-day familiarization tour with 15 media influencers and tour operators from France, Portugal and Spain.
Paris mission is targeting the European market, where we are trying to beat the drums that Uganda is a place to go.
The group explored Uganda's top attractions, starting at Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary, the only home to wild rhinos in the country, before heading to the iconic Mashishon Falls for the dramatic view of the Nile's power. From there, game drives and boat cruises in Mashishon Falls and Queen Elizabeth National Parks brought them face to face with the giraffes, elephants, lions and hippos, offering a glimpse into Uganda's rich biodiversity. In Kibale Forest National Park, often called the primate capital of the world, visitors tracked chimpanzees and explored the Bigodi wetlands, experiencing rare bird species and lush ecosystems. But the highlight for many was gorilla trekking in the dense, windy, impenetrable forest, an emotional once-in-a-lifetime experience that left lasting impressions. With the reels and blog posts and social content already circulating across Europe, the tour is expected to spark new interest and boost bookings to Uganda.
We execute what we call omni-channel strategies. Omni-channel strategies basically are based on using a 360 model marketing campaigns. That what we do is we interact with all the different channels that nowadays are important for a user when they are deciding what's going to be the next destination they are willing to travel to. So at the end, we own one of the largest networks of blogs in the European markets based on the languages.
This follows an earlier milestone in March when the mission welcomed its first cohort of European influencers, another move credited with generating measurable tourist bookings.
We were targeting 2,000 as Paris mission per year. But from the look of things, I think we are going to surpass that because already we have a lot of interest, a lot of questions.
And I was just at Poate Expo, so this is a great initiative. What we need to do is to foster encounters between the key players here in Uganda and on the South Europe market.
Coupled with the major initiatives like the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate and the launch of Uganda Airlines UK route, Uganda's tourism diplomacy in Paris is positioning the country as a top destination for the global travelers. Edi Ulwa, UBC News.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotellaconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Uganda Development Forum is organizing a 2-day Msevenomics conference on 29th and 30th of May 2025. The conference will be live on UBC TV and all its social media platforms with a focus on exploring Uganda's revolutionary economics model under the theme Sustaining Msevenomics, hence navigating Uganda's economic future in a disrupted world. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the Chairman of Uganda Development Forum, General Salim Saleh, will lead a team of distinguished speakers in economics and development. Dr. Michael Atingi Igo, the Governor Bank of Uganda, Mr. Ramandhan Ngobi, the PS and Secretary to the Treasury, Dr. Fred Muhomuza, Development Economics, Honorable Galabuzi Sozi, a PDM Coordinator, Professor Julius Kiza, Dr. Patrick Virunji, Executive Director, Uganda Development Corporation, Dr. Pamela Mbabazi, National Planning Authority, Dr. Katende Edward, Executive Director, Uganda Development Forum. The Msevenomics Conference 2025 is sponsored by Uganda Development Forum in partnership with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Uganda Development Corporation, Parish Development Model, and Operation Wealth Creation.
Welcome back, and now on to sports. The stage is set for a thrilling showdown this weekend as two Ugandan football giants, KCCA FC and Vipers Sports Club, lock horns in the finals of the 2025 Stanbic Uganda Cup. Now our reporter Malaika takes a closer look at both teams' preparations ahead of this crucial clash.
The match anticipated the final will be played at the newly constructed Kadiba Stadium on May 31st, promising fireworks as Vipers Soccer Club go head-to-head with arch rivals KCC AFC.
We are ready. We know the magnitude of that game. Every player is motivated and they know what they have to do. So we are ready and we hope we shall put a good show for both fans of KCC and fans of Vipers and everyone that loves football.
But the Venoms will have to do it without one of their key men. Reliably centre-back Hilary Mukundane is ruled out of the final after accumulating too many yellow cards, leaving a gap in the Vipers' defence.
What I can tell them is we cannot disappoint you guys for those who believe in us as Vipers Sports Club. So we as players, we are ready.
Head coach John Ayala Luyinda is expected to reshuffle his backline, with Livingston Mulondo and Rogers Tolach likely to anchor the defence. Despite this setback, both sides have shown great determination and readiness heading into the fixture.
But we are going there to put a great performance to see that at least Case can become victorious, because it has taken long without getting the silverware. So we think this is the moment where we have to go there and pray the champion of the UPL to see that we get great performance and become victorious.
With a domestic double within reach, Vipers will be hoping the new-look defensive pairing can step up and deliver on the big stage. Nabachiwi Lauryn Masika, UBC News.
Thank you, Malika, for that. And now with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company this evening. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Yusuf Senyamo on sign language interpretation. We do wish you a good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
I got to learn about the Powerball through the website www.nationallottery.go.ug. Played Powerball tickets worth 5,000, used an option of Quick Pick, and that's how I was able to be the lucky one to win 35 million. I checked my tickets online and I found out that I had winning numbers. The feeling was incredible and full of excitement. I would advise everyone who is 18 and above that whatever you're seeing here exemplifies reality. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Uganda National Lottery for bringing us this opportunity to win millions.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
Are you a woman with a small-scale business with a dream of growing it to another level? The GROW Project is here to support you in realizing your dream.
The GROW Project is a government initiative implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development and Private Sector Foundation Uganda with support from the World Bank.
We support women-owned businesses across the country to gain hands-on and business management skills through training within your location, business financing through grants and affordable loans, and infrastructure in your area areas of operation to enable you to increase your productivity.
If you have a business that makes sales of up to 800,000 Uganda shillings per month, the GROW project has the tools and resources to help you succeed. For more information, contact your district or city GROW focal person or call our toll-free line on 0800 307 777 to learn more about how you can benefit from the GROW project's services.
The GROW project, empowering women economically, transforming communities.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka and you're watching us here right on UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. Today we have come to part 2 of our talk show, still with Dr. Ziwa, who had shared a lot with us in the past part 1 of our program. So today we are going to delve more on her journey. But I also want to remind you that this show runs every Wednesday, 9 p.m. and also on repeat on Friday, 11 a.m. And also you can get us on YouTube, still Super Soul Sisters. Actually, if you missed the last show, you can go on YouTube and you'll get it in full capacity. I want to welcome Honorable again.
Thank you very much, Jamila.
You always look lovely.
Thank you very
like you
much.
Understood the colors. You blend so well, looking nice. I love the outfit, you know.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable, last time you had taken us through, let me tell you what keeps running in my mind. I remember when you said you had ever gone to school on barefoot. Mm-hmm. And you have also walked a distance. Mm-hmm. You used to go to the garden. When I look at you, I'm like, really? Mm-hmm. But, you know, life goes through different phases. Mm-hmm. And I believe that with all that background that you had, it is what has made you to be who you are today. True. So you had talked about politics, being a LC1, LC3, and then they used to select you voluntary and opposed to chair, to manage, to be a member, and then you also worked in the bank, so you understood also the language of money.
Yeah, true.
And then from there, I would like to know, where did you go to?
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers, again. It's an honor for me to be hosted on this great program. First and foremost, I want to appreciate that the objective of the program is very, very, very important, mainly to give the girl child an opportunity to pick a leaf or to be inspired. When I was opening, I mentioned that I'm a mother. I mentioned that I'm an educationist, I'm a politician, I'm a banker, and I'm an educationist of various levels. Becoming a politician I don't want to say that I had prepared myself, but the circumstances at the time had to, I don't want to call it force you, but you had to choose very fast or very quickly. Like Socrates was once saying that if you people who are educated, if you don't want to go in politics, then the fools will, oh, that's how it's actually put.
Yeah,
the idiots will go there, and you'll be led by the idiots. So I had to say, you know, here we were, the NRM government had just come to power. We had been in a lot of turmoil, a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, which many young people don't want us to talk about. They say, to hell with your lamentations. But that actually prompted me actually to join many of my friends to join politics. Like I mentioned last time, I was serving at the RC1 of Village A, Bukoto White Flats of Kamwokya 1 Parish in Kampala Central. And I was able to go to RC3 at the time. I went to RC2, I went to RC3. And later on in 1989, 1991, I went to RC5. And where truly I was elected unopposed by very many distinguished personalities, I should say. They said, no, we are voting Margaret. When I was a General Secretary of RC5, I served with diligent, very distinguished men and women like Mr. Christopher Iga, who was a mayor at the time, although at that time we never used that title. It was a very, very powerful committee. At the time, the city was also not a very pleasant city. When I say pleasant, I mean it in terms of there was almost all the infrastructure was dilapidated. The roads were really down. Garbage was all over the place. And even business was not business per se. It was just a gamble. So we had to put in place new mechanisms. I remember, I recall very well, I was chairing the Committee on General Purpose. We had even to institute what we call the new trade order, which brought in what we call the reorganization of the different groups of people who do business in Kampala. That's when we mobilized, for instance, the shoe shiners. That's when we mobilized the saloon owners and saloon people in the saloon. That's when we organized those people who cook food. You know, food was cooked in very
different formats,
different places. Sometimes it would really be glaring on the roadside. Among us,
people used to cook from anywhere.
Anywhere. You know, sometimes
find food in Kampala Road, Ginger Road.
When you go around behind Nasa Road, there is now a very popular restaurant there. Yes. We term it a restaurant, but you know, and we organized all of them, and they formed associations, transporters, the Utoda. By that time, for instance, KCC used to own the taxi park, and I can tell you, they used to collect money on the entrance as the taxis went in and went out. They could only bring in about 1.6 million a month. That was very little money. So
for the whole tax park?
Yes, for the whole tax park. We urged that let's give the operators opportunity to manage the park, and we give them a subsequent, you know, an amount of money which they are to bring in. That's when they formed Utoda. And every month they could initially even turn in about 6 million, 8 million. We even initiated all these market management committees. That's when some of the market owners, like the ones in Balikudembe, were able to start managing the market, and they were able to turn in a lot of money to City Council.
Because now the market, when you go, it is clean.
I know. Balikudembe, you couldn't even, at that time it was really Owino market. You couldn't even go there with shoes.
When I was growing up, they would say, when you're going to Owino, you have to make sure you hide your money and what?
No, the mud itself, it was just, the mud itself, it was just like a swamp. with a lot of mud.
And already that place is in
And I told you at the kind of garbage which was there, we had to work with some of the business people at the time, people like Zimo Enterprises, people like Mokalazi Technical Services, to give us equipment, and we carried that garbage away from what is currently Owino Market. And eventually we had to organize many of them, and we created what was called the park, the yard, to put these people who cook food to be away from the streets, because definitely when you cook food and you are in the street, the cars are passing, food will be contaminated with dust. So we all organized all that. We had to now also move at the council level to attract or to partner with some development partners. That's when we were able to get the Municipal Development Program under the World Bank, who actually were able to work, put together programs and projects, and they were able now to develop. So that's partly what we were doing when we were still in City Council.
And there was a school here, I remember I went to that school.
Shimoni?
Not Shimoni,
Okay.
Aria. It used
Aria
to be
girl.
Aria.
Exactly.
We used to be so
many. And when now the Indians came back and they repossessed some of the properties, or their properties, you ended up finding that area, which was housing or schooling most of the children from Kamocha, they didn't have where to go. Actually, what we did, we had to, temporarily, we had to relocate them to Summit. Summit, there was a primary school, a school which should be for, initially actually it was, I think, a store for ammunitions. And then it was converted into a school.
Because of the space.
Exactly, space. And the children were going there. But of course it became difficult and risky. And the journey from Kamocha, if you can imagine, if somebody is in Green Valley, somebody is in Chifumbira, and is walking all the way to the Summit for class.
And
so,
what about Bat Valley?
So that's when we got Kamocha Primary School. That's how we were able to go. I was able to go physically. Onyait was one of the councillors who were there at the LOC, Mr. Senoga, and were able to go and identify that place, and we go to negotiate into negotiations, and we were able to buy that place as Kampala City Council, and we constructed that school which you see there. Wow. Bat Valley was equally in the same state. All the schools were so full. We're so full.
And that's the time government used to say, please let children go to school.
Exactly.
Wow.
So these are some of the things we did, or I did, or I was able to be part of when I was in Kampala City Council. And people actually, assessed me or evaluated me as a very effective legislator, a very effective leader. And that's why when it came to, at the time, Constituent Assembly, every district was given an opportunity to bring in a woman member of parliament, a woman member to the Constituent Assembly. At the time, our woman member of parliament was Dr. Her Excellency Dr. Speciosa Wandira Kazibwe. And she mentioned that she would want to go to Chiguru, where she's born. And at that time, everybody said, Margaret, please, you should stand.
Now this is an opportunity.
And I actually stood. I didn't even look at it as an opportunity as such, but I said, but how can we have no person to represent us? So I stood.
And you went through.
And I went through.
Unopposed?
No. There were other three great women who came up to stand also. There was Mama Rebecca Mayengo and Mama Chikomeko. So I went to the Constituent Assembly. That was 1993. And we were there 1993 to 1995. And I should tell you, when we were in the Constituent Assembly, I also made a mark because we had to be there. It was not something easy. When you look at that chapter for the chapter for rights, just to have...
were you part of the 1995 Constitution?
Exactly, that's what I'm telling you.
Wow.
I was there in 1995.
And we are here enjoying, always referring to 1995 Constitution.
Exactly,
Why?
It's the most gender...
It.
Exactly, it's the most gender-sensitive Constitution, at least we've been able to witness. After that, the NRC came to an end, and we had now to go and contest for the
parliament, a member of parliament or the parliamentaries, the 6th parliament of the Republic of Uganda. And again I stood, and it was also not a very easy ride. I stood with, of course at the time also the feel of belonging politically had started cropping in. Although we were in the movement system and political parties were not really given the chance to play or to exercise their participation, but some people were inclined. So that's when actually I stood, and they brought, or there came another strong woman, Nava Gesera, and we went in full blast. We had a real hot race, and I emerged the winner, although of course under circumstances she went to court. For her, of course, she was claiming me as a lawyer. I am going to overturn these elections, and we were in court for almost 3.5 years, 4 years actually.
But during that time, were you already serving? Because
yes,
as a declared.
Yes, I was declared, and I went in and I swore, I took oath, and I started. But of course, she went in and filed a petition, and we went into it. And it was a very rigorous petition, rather court case. Actually, I think during after the promulgation of the Constitution, it was the first election petition. In fact, many lawyers, and they always quote it, Nava Ziwa case. So that is the famous, I'm the famous Ziwa in that respect. So went through it, and I won. In fact, initially they annulled the election. They said that the register was not standardized, meaning that because it was handwritten, that anybody could come in and add another person or whatever. So they annulled the election on that basis. But of course, it was only during my time that they ordered all the boxes to be brought to the court.
And they counted?
And they recounted them.
Wow.
I was getting 90, my colleague was getting 50, 30,
and
20.
And everything was brought in the limelight, like...
I'm telling you, in a court. In a court. So after that, we went to the Court of Appeal, and I won. After that, I went to Parliament, because I had been there, but when they annulled it, then I had to vacate. But then I appealed. So when I appealed, I had to be out as I kept on fighting the appeal. But after I won it, then I went back to Parliament. Then after that, we went into the 7th Parliament. I again stood. I stood with other equally strong people. I don't even remember them now. And we went through it. I was elected to go back to Parliament. I was elected a parliamentary commissioner.
Wow.
I was one of the 3 parliamentary commissioners. I served with Honorable Ben Wacha. I served with Honorable the late John Kazora, and the Right Honorable Kadaga was the Deputy Speaker. We served under
that's the time
His Excellency Sekandi was the Speaker. We actually did a lot of work, because we had now, it was during that time that we had to delink the Parliament. We had to have the Administration of Parliamentary Act, and we had to delink the parliamentary service from the President's office, so that now Parliament is a standalone institution. And again, we had to now also do the recruitment of all the members of staff of Parliament. We had to expand the committees of Parliament. We had also to, there was a lot of work. At the time, the members of Parliament were many, were about 306. In the 6th Parliament, were about 240, I think, or 270. And then we moved in 7th Parliament. We were 300, I think, and 20.